YouTube universe. What is going on, all my hitmen and Harley Quinns? You know who it is. It's your favorite mother freaking role model, the Buddhist Wusan with an attitude, aka Mr. Wonderful, Hitman Thornton for Raw Reaction TV. Wow, what an episode! What a series! What a show! Phenomenal job they did, people. Phenomenal job. And before I even start getting into it, just want to say real quick, hit that subscribe button, click that bell icon so you will be alerted when my videos drop and all. So let's get right to it. Let's get right to it. And this is going to be a different video than normal, like I normally do, standing up, being all energetic a little bit. Allergies are kicking my butt, so bear with me, people. Bear with me. So instead of just going from, scene to scene, the beginning, the end, whatever, I just want to just overall speak of the whole series in general. I was really surprised about this whole overall series. I was just expecting the typical MCU bells and whistles and characters and a little buddy cop action type series show with these two. I did not expect the show itself to be as deep as it was. There was more going on than a little bit. I thought it would be hard to top WandaVision. And they brought the heat. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they brought the heat with this show. I mean, with the character development, the whole show itself was a shade of gray. That's basically what it was. The whole show itself was a shade of gray. I mean, you were understanding both sides, with, Bucky's character, Sam's character, Agent Douche, as I called him, but John Walker, his character, Carly Morgenthau, her character, even Zemo. You were understanding where everybody was coming from. They really went in depth with each character development, so you understood where they were coming from and their explanations and all. And that all really impressed me. I'm just stunned. I did not think it would be as deep as it was. The introduction with Isaiah Bradley, the Black Captain America, which the comic I do remembering glancing through it way back when it first came out. I remember glancing through it, reading bits and pieces of it. But I was really surprised they even brought that in. And just how in depth they went into his story and his feelings and emotions, and kind of like what I was also explaining about the Tuskegee experience and how they were incorporating real history, Black history, with the Black soldiers that fought in the Korean Wars and the struggles and the things that Black folks went through, especially with the Tuskegee experiments. And they kind of replaced that with the super soldier serum, but there was still some ground in reality to it. I thought that was kind of deep and clever how they did that. That's what's real is real, people. And just the struggle that Bucky was going through mentally from being this Winter Soldier and his programming and what he went through and the PTSD that he was suffering through even after when the time he spent in Wakanda and Shuri and the rest of them deprogrammed him, and still he was dealing with bits and pieces and dreams of what he did as the Winter Soldier. That was eating him up inside. Sam coming back from the blip itself and fighting Thanos and just all the stuff he did with the Avengers, coming home, his sister and her kids, the family business struggling financially, and just overall how the world changed when after the blip and people returned, and just how financially it affected him and emotionally, and him being gained given the shield of Captain America, and knowing what a weight that is to deal with. Um, and he thought he did the right thing, but just putting it into the Smithsonian, and then seeing that it was taken and used for someone else when, and then his feelings about that, and Bucky's feelings about that, and Bucky kind of, upset with him on why he turned it in when Steve gave that to you, and Bucky and Steve not understanding the weight it is for a black man to carry something like that when they always seen Steve Rogers, a white man, as Captain America, and most Americans don't see black people as, blonde hair, blue eyes as the hero. They always see that, and that's what they want to see. And his feelings about that, and talking to Isaiah Bradley and his story, man, the whole show just went deep. And Carly and her struggle and what she was dealing with, being replaced when people returned, and people being ignored, homeless, pushed to the streets, and people are struggling, and her fight to wanting to go back to the way it was. I mean, it was just all very deep. I did not expect for it to go that deep. It wasn't your typical villains that we're used to um, as a YouTuber, says, not your typical mustache twirly type villain. I mean, there's some depth to each of the characters. Like I said, the whole show was shades of gray. Who's right? Who's wrong? There were some people that were agreeing with John Walker and what he was going through. He wanted to he just wants to do the right thing. He wants to be the Captain America because obviously he idolized him, and his struggles and losing his best friend when his best friend was his morality, his moral compass, and him just dealing with that. Plus he took the serum, and then dealing with the side effects of taking the super soldier serum and how it affected him mentally. And I mean, it's just a lot. It's just a whole lot to deal with. I mean, this show did a phenomenal job with each of the characters and their development and telling a story grounded in reality, as well as what's going on with today's society and everything. I mean, and as far as with this the final episode, I mean, you finally see Falcon in the outfit the Wakandans made, basically looking just like the comics, how he looked in the comics when he became Captain America, fighting, the Flag Smashers when they're trying to kidnap the GRC, and Bucky, there as well. Sharon popped in to help out. And then, of course, John Walker shows up to help out, even though he has his own beef with Carly. Carly was trying to apologize to him for killing his friend, but his friend didn't matter to her struggle, and that set him off. I mean, it was just a lot. And then finding out Sharon's the power broker, and and finding out that Carly and her crew were actually with Sharon way back when, a while back, helping her out, and then she, betrayed her because Carly had her own, you know, struggle. She had her own, agenda from Sharon's. And, of course, Carly died. And even though Sam was trying to convince her, still trying to talk her down. Even Bucky at one point was trying to talk her down on the phone, but just used that as a distraction. And man, I mean, this show was very, very clever because just like with Black Panther, because there's people that were agreeing with Killmonger and his views and where he was coming from. There was people that was on Killmonger's side more than T'Challa's. So it's obvious the writers of that wrote Falcon and the Winter Soldier um, paid attention to how Black Panther was written and what they did. So they kind of did something very similar. made people think, and understand each characters on their struggle, and pretty much made you choose whose side would you be on, whose side would you agree with. So you have people that are agreeing with Carly, you have people that are agreeing with John Walker, Bucky, Sam. I mean, there was a lot. Zemo, phenomenal. Zemo was off the chain. I still loved his coat. He was rocking that fur collar coat. Um, so, and yeah, I just want to say, uh, Wyatt Russell, who played John Walker, who for some of y'all don't know, that's Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell's kid, got his pop swagger. He got Kurt Russell's swagger, got his father's looks, and got his mom's eyes. And it's kind of interesting because his father played Ego, the living planet, in Guardians of the Galaxy. Kurt Russell played that. So it's cool that his son's now in this. So it's pretty awesome. So yeah, he did a phenomenal job. He did an awesome job. Erin Kellerman, who played Carly Morgenthau, there's a bright future for her. There is a bright future. She did a phenomenal job. She also was in Solo, the Star Wars story. Don't get me started with that movie. But still, she has a good agent because she's getting put on some good stuff. So can't wait to see what she does next. Emily Van Camp, who was Sharon, she did a great job as well. She's very pretty. I never really realized how pretty she was. And Carl Lumley, who played Isaiah Bradley. Wow. Phenomenal actor. He's been in the game for a long time. And that's one of the things that I liked about. Overall, I just want to speak on, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who came in as, Madam Hydra, Val, I wrote it down, but I can't remember her full name, but she's phenomenal. Very slick. She got the comedy chops, the improv chops. So she's perfect for that character. And I understand she's going to be popping up down the road in some MCU movies as well. This is not the only time we'll see her. There's rumored that she's supposed to pop up in not necessarily Doctor Strange, but possibly Black Widow, I think. I'm not sure. But basically, she's supposed to be popping up down the road. This is not the only time we'll see her character. And that's one of the things I like to say that I like. So you have a lot of actors and some directors, producers out there hating on comic book and Star Wars stuff. Well, mostly the comic book stuff. Hating on those movies. And you get some of them, I would never do a comic book movie. And, if I directed Wonder Woman, it would be like, and of course, don't even get me started with Wonder Woman. First one, yes. Anyway, just want to say that that's what I like about the comic book, even Star Wars stuff, is the fact that it's breathing life and giving work to actors who normally and rarely hardly get work, and some that are trying to revitalize their career. So when you have vehicles like this, especially if they're written well, directed well, have some depth, telling good stories, they could, just because it's a comic book or Star Wars doesn't mean, like I said, if you have good writers and good directors that know how to tell a story, not just bells and whistles, Michael Bay, even though I do love his stuff. If it's not all just about bells and whistles, but there's good writing, good storytelling, good character development, good directing, then yes, it can show an actor or an actress's acting chops. You know what I mean? It shows that they got skills, if it's done well. So that's why I like it about shows like this, because it's giving work to people that have a hard time finding work, or the ones that are trying to revitalize their career again, and the ones that, the OGs of the acting game, male or female, that's having a hard time getting work because of their age. And you get vehicles like this that come along, shows like this, Star Wars, whatever, that's giving them work again, that's able to give them a shot to show that they can. And it's like, and then other directors and producers are like, oh, okay, we didn't know he or she had it like that. All right, give their agent a call. Let's hook them up with something I'm working on. You know, Same thing. So people shouldn't hate too much out there on that. And just want to also say also with the show, the speech Falcon gave after he brought Carly, when she got shot, brought her down to the paramedics and was speaking to the senators with the news media and police and reporters around being filmed. And the speech he gave got your boy right here in the feels, because he was speaking some truth. Even though it's a show and it's MCU and all that, suspend belief and all that, there's still some truth to it that that speak of what's going on in today's society. I mean, I didn't get a chance to film it because I was busy and had stuff going on, but the verdict that happened a week ago, with George Floyd, that I was stunned and shocked. I was stunned and shocked and happy that justice was finally given. For a long time, it always never turned out well. But this is a sign that things and times are starting to change slowly, but starting to change. But still, this doesn't mean this is over. Still got more work to do. Still got more work to do. But I was just shocked and stunned by the verdict and happy, overjoyed. But still, there's still more work that needs to be done. And with Sam giving that speech, about you need to step up. I mean, you guys, there's a lot you guys can do. You guys are calling these people terrorists and refugees and thugs and all that kind of thing. What do you think they're calling you when you're doing what you're doing that's not fair to others? And it's all about people need to sit down, talk, and listen to one another, have a conversation, not wait for each turn to talk, but actually listen. And that speech he gave really was like, man, he's got real. They mic dropped. Falcon dropped that mic and stepped, leaving them all. It's like, damn, did that just really happen? I'm now. I don't have super soldier serum, not blonde hair, blue eyes. There's a lot of people that are going to hate that I'm Captain America, that I'm black man's Captain America, but I'm still here. What you gonna do? And that's another thing I found clever and interesting, is that only Sam could have gave that kind of speech. Not Bucky, not even Steve Rogers could have gave a speech like that. Now you understand why Steve picked him. Period. And when he said about, not a lot of people are not going to like that I'm Captain America, you blah blah blah. That kind of speaks truth to even to us blurs and the comic book world, comic book readers that don't like race changing characters, because that's talked about a lot. Some feel that, Falcon being Captain America is a demotion because it's a mantle he's taken on, and some feel, hey, create new characters, there's a lot of black comic book superheroes out there that haven't been touched or spoken about, which is true. I would love to see Icon, Milestone. Google it, people. Hardway. I would love to. Blue frickin' Marble. That character really needs to be explored and looked into. Okay. But I get it to a point. I get it. I do get it that, you're just giving leftovers to black folks to be superheroes. They're already been established. And I get that and I understand that. I can also understand they're trying to add some new flair and style and breath to it because it's always been like this. Hey, let's do it like this and see what happens. You know, and because there's rumors has it that there's going to be a black Superman, that they're going to go that route because there is two comic book series that Superman's black. Um, can't remember the names because I'm a Batman fan, and yes, there is a black Batman now, not the TV show, but not Batwoman, but Batman. He's black, um, which is a good read, by the way. Um, But anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of people that feel that they should be introducing some new black superhero characters with that are out there, and I agree with that 100%. But I also don't mind, hey, because also maybe because some of these characters were created long ago, and I look at it like they were generically created and without having some actual thought put into it. Because I don't hear no beef about Aquaman. He was blonde hair, blue eyes. And here you have Jason Momoa, who is half white and half Pacific Islander. He's from Dwayne Johnson's, I don't know if they're related, but he's from that somewhat bloodline / family tree or whatever. I'm not saying they're related, but I'm just saying, you know, and I never thought about it like that. I said, wow, you know what? Aquaman should have been, Pacific Islander type, or Viking, either way, but it still works. But, I can see it. That's understandable. It's okay. I get that. Just like new Hawkman that's coming out who's going to be black. And a lot of people had issues with that. But they're also saying that the Hawkman is supposed to be a spirit from, Egypt. I forgot that. I have to look in more on that. But people from Egypt, from Africa, basically, are of dark complexion, especially Egypt. So, makes sense, don't it? But the actor they got to play him, big fan of his. His name escapes me, but I loved him on the show Leverage. Loved him on that show, and he's had a good acting career. One Night in Miami, phenomenal freaking movie. Okay, so I'm just rambling on here. Allergies are kicking my butt, so I'm on all kinds of stuff right now. But Falcon and Winter Soldier, love the show, love what they did with it, and when they gave Isaiah Bradley his own wing in the Smithsonian next to Captain America to tell his story, man. Wow, you felt that shit right there. You felt that. People. Man. I had a feeling Sam was going to do that, but I wasn't sure. But man, that. I was holding it in, people. I was holding it in. So yeah, that was awesome. Again, that's just telling good stories, telling damn good stories. And that's the other thing I forgot to say, that when Bucky was talking to Sam, because I said in a previous video that when Steve told him what he was going to do, neither one of them thought what it would be like for a black man to accept the mantle. And I'm glad they really went in depth with it instead of him just accepting it. Hey, I'm Captain America. Hey. Instead of actually exploring, his emotional and his mental feelings about being Captain America and taking on that mantle. And yeah, I'm glad they did it that way. I'm really glad, That's why I like, with these streaming services when they do shows like this, because they can actually explore, like I said, character development. I know I'm repeating myself, but they're exploring character development. It's good writing. You can actually, just like with WandaVision, same thing, character development, and plus explores and it shows their acting range and what they can really do. So, but yeah, freaking love this show. Can't wait for Loki. And definitely can't wait for, the Hawkeye show, because I'm a big Hawkeye fan. even before the movie. I was a big Hawkeye fan reading the comics. I don't know why people pick on Hawkeye about not having superpowers and they don't say jack about Green Arrow. And when he was with Justice League, he doesn't have superpowers either. They're basically the same, but Hawkeye gets picked on more. Whatever. Whatever. So, yeah, loved Hawkeye. I love the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I want to say sounds like some that name, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, sounds like some Game of Thrones offshoot, show. Um, it does. Cool name though, but yeah, it sounds like some medieval, old school, medieval, King Arthur, Game of Thrones type of a show, offshoot, show or something. So yeah. So, but anyway, so leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think. Anything I might have missed. I know I decided to do something a little different here because, like I said, allergies are kicking my butt. I rewatched Falcon and the Winter Soldier just to, be refreshed and get it in here. And yeah, just had to get refreshed and get reacquainted, remember everything. Had a crazy busy week, aside from my night/day job keeping me busy and other stuff going on. And I just want to thank subscribers out there, people that still subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Appreciate your support. And I'm working on, talk about the elephant in the room and breaking the fourth wall. Yes, if you remember my previous YouTube shows, way back when, they were different, they looked different and all that. But, life got in the way, things changed, starting over from the ground up. Just me recording on my cell phone and no slick graphics or memes and no cool openings, just me, bam, here I am. What's cracking? And because someone pointed out, how some of my videos come out and how they look. And I'm like, hey, starting over, people, starting over. Struggle is real. And I'm going to keep it real. That's why it's called Raw Reaction TV. Buddhist with an attitude. Yes, I'm a Buddhist. Martial artist as well. But also I do stand-up comedy. I do acting. So Buddhist with an attitude is just because I do stand-up comedy, and so I don't always come across as the typical, nah, it's woosah, nigga. What's up? So, so anyway, that's just me. Just want to just share some of that with you. Like, hey, things are going to get better. I'm just happy that you're staying with me this far. So I thank you for everyone's support and views and all that. So I would do a GoFundMe or whatever, but hey, whatever. Not into all that stuff, so just living off of y'all's support and love and likes. So until next time, this is Hitman Thornton. And yes, I know there's some other reviews I haven't gotten to and done yet, and I will. Okay, I will. Bear with me. All right. So till next time, Hitman Thornton for Raw Reaction T-Vizzle. Till next time, peace out, bitches. And to remember, always stay zen. Whoosah, as fuck.